Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What is poppin'? Woo! You remember that jam? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Welcome to this Monday, September 12th. And I am fresh off the plane from Appleton, Wisconsin. Not easy to get to Appleton, Wisconsin, especially when I have a layover in Chicago. And Chicago said, we're going to have a typhoon and make your flight delayed and miss your layover. And then you hang out all day with your friend Mark in the airport. So that's what we did. But we made it, dude. That's part of the game. That's part of that airport game, daddy. So, yeah, man, what can you do? Had a great time in Appleton. Small little town. I love those small towns. I love it. Don't know if I could live there, but everyone's so nice. Appleton's about 30 minutes from Green Bay. Listen, I don't know Wisconsin any facet, so I learn things when I get into town. And, that's right. He's on the show. We'll get to that. The thing is about, Wisconsin is everybody super nice. Cheese curds are their thing, right? And they're pretty good. We had some good cheese curds. There's some good little local restaurants and coffee out there, which is all I care about. They'll do a lot of things that I feel like are going to make you shit your pants. Cheese curds. And then fans would buy me, several of them. You would take a shot of tequila and then chase it with pickle juice.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard of that?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I've done it. It's good.
Really?
I like it.
Oh, I did not like it. Did not enjoy it. And cheese curds and then pickle juice with tequila, you're just trying to shit your pants. That's all that is. It's the perfect storm. The perfect freaking storm. But, so Green Bay is about 30 minutes outside of Appleton. We went to Lambeau Field, and you got to see that. Now, I am not a Green Bay fan. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. He's my favorite player. It's 1A, 1B. Him and Cooper Kupp for the LA Rams are my favorite players. So, look at Nick, a post I can finally get behind. That's right. Yeah, that is an old school Bart Starr jersey. I was going to wear it today, but I didn't unpack last night. And when I got it out of the suitcase today, it was a disaster. So, you can't be all wrinkly on the show. But yeah, Lambeau was dope, man. And they have you walk out of the tunnel, like the legendary tunnel. My problem with that is you walk out of the tunnel, they play like crowd noise and the same music they walk out to. So it's like historic Lambeau Field. But then it was that song.
Mortal Kombat.
I'm like, what is happening? Why would we walk out to this? Mark was way doing it. Because the tour guy was like, oh, are you ready? Mark was like, let's go. I was like, whoa, dude, chill. It was a fun time though, man. We had a good time. I can't imagine when it gets cold out there. And then I did just modeling pics of Mark.
That's cool.
The weirdest looking boy band ever. You ain't lying, dude. You ain't lying. Old school Bart Starr, though, jersey, man. When's the last time you saw that? The long sleeve? It's pretty swaggy. That's a jersey I'll rock even outside of Wisconsin, I feel like. Again, not the biggest Green Bay fan, and they're definitely a struggle this year. And even the tour guide was like, if you look up there, it says whatever the last time they've won. It has all their Super Bowl wins. And he's like, there's 3 more places, 2022, 2022, 2024. I was like, in what world are you living in? You guys have completely destroyed the team. You paid Aaron Rodgers all this money, which you should, but you give him no tools. You trade away his best asset. How dare you? Like, we're going to be just as good. It's like, how? In what world? You don't draft anybody. Last time you had a first-round draft pick, you draft another quarterback, so you just pissed off Aaron Rodgers. What can you do, dude? But I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers, but it's going to be a tough year for him. But my Broncos play tonight, baby. My Broncos play tonight. What's interesting about the Broncos, obviously my team being from Denver, but one of the Thick Boy Network employees, George, his brother, who's played at UCLA, first team All-Pac 12, He was drafted by the Denver Broncos in the second round, so he's actually the second string tight end for the Denver Broncos. But he has a messed up hammy, so I think he's out to week 5. So it's not the way you want to start off your professional career, but shit happens. But yeah, Broncos going to light up Seattle. AFC West, holler. We're crushing it. But yeah, shout to Appleton. Everyone's so nice out there, man. Shout to Wisconsin. Back on the road. Back on the freaking road. It is a busy week for your boy. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. As P. Diddy says, sleeps for the week. Anybody who says sleeps for the week just isn't living life right, I feel like. I wish I was one of those people that need only 3 hours. I'm not. When daddy doesn't get 8 hours, it's a disaster, and my face looks like this. If you're just listening to this and you're not watching this on YouTube, I look like a Shar-Pei right now. I'm a Shar-Pei of a man. My face is getting fatter because I get no sleep and I'm exhausted. That's okay. Speaking of tour dates, so I have one show shoot tomorrow night. Better figure it out. Schaub and Friends. Just kidding. I have some monsters on there. Schaub and Friends, some big boy shows. Trevor Wallace, Sam Tripoli, and some other very, very big time monsters. That's one show only at 10:30 at the Hollywood Improv, Tuesday night, September 13th. And then the real Thick Boy Tour starts back up this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Ontario, Inland Empire, holler at your boy. Ontario, California is this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I end September in Boston, my favorite city, Boston, September 29th through October 1st. That is almost sold out. Then I'm in San Jose, Salt Lake City, Utah, one of my faves. And then just announced, we announced it last week, but I don't think we had a show. Just coming in hot. I haven't been to Calgary in about 4 or 5 years. Canada, your boy figured it out. I'm in Calgary, Canada. I think is Alberta, Canada, Calgary. I think so. It says AB right there. That is Calgary, Canada. Right now, one show only. It's at the Rooftop, downtown Canada, Calgary, baby. That's 414 3rd Street Southwest. That could be wherever. I have no clue where it's at. I don't know.
It is Alberta, yeah.
It's Alberta. Great, grand, wonderful at the Rooftop. That's one show only. That bitch is almost sold out. When it sells out, we will add another show. So Calgary, come get some from your boy. Tickets at thickboy.com. Get you some. Let's get into the fights, man. We had a crazy week of fights. First time ever the UFC has had to deal with something like this. Before we get into the chaos that was UFC 279, we cannot continue the show without mentioning this is news to me. I just found out about it when I walked into the office this morning. A guy who was on the Big Brown Breakdown, he was always a fun guy. We would text each other, go back and forth on Twitter and stuff like that. Elias Theodoro passed away apparently due to cancer. Barely due to cancer, man. And this is a tough one, man. This is a really tough one because young, handsome dude. I had no clue. What's this say? I'm hearing the news as you guys are. He was also just a funny, talented guy. He wanted to be the first male ring card man. That was his joke, right? And they let him do it at a smaller.
Invicta, yeah.
Yeah, Invicta let him do it. I had no idea, man. So, full initial report from bjpen.com. TSN reports that Theodora was battling stage 4 liver cancer. That his diagnosis was known to a few. Theodora, 19-3, dude. Stud. Was a veteran of 22 MMA bouts, including an 8-3 run in the UFC. He won the Ultimate Fighter. All right. He beat Eric Anders, Dan Kelly, Caesar, Sam Alvey. No punk. No punk at all. Along with his fighting career, Theodore was best known for being an advocate for use of medical marijuana. In 2020, the Canadian veteran became the first fighter to receive therapeutic use for weed, which was granted by the British Columbia Athletic Commission. There you go. Theodore also made headlines when he served as a ring boy for Invicta FC event. After making his pro debut, he started 8-0. Parted ways with the promotion 2019, which is weird because he was crushing it. Even though, following a unanimous decision, lost Derek Brunson, which Derek is a monster. Theodore went 3-0, scored a unanimous decision. Yep. So he won his fight as recent as last December, man. It's just so tragic. It's hopefully his family's okay. I can't imagine what they're going through. Hopefully they have a GoFundMe or something for that, which I will definitely contribute to. Theodore was a special dude. Was not on this earth long enough, man. We need more people like Theodora, and it's just fucking heartbreaking. Not the way you want to, find out when you come to the office. That is terrible, terrible news, man. My heart goes out to his family and friends, and I can't imagine what you guys are dealing with. If there's a GoFundMe or anything like that, let me know. I will contribute however I can help you guys out, man. But that is just, we lost a good one, man. So rest in peace, my friend. And yeah, man, we love you here, buddy. So hopefully you're listening to this in some capacity, my man. So love you. Let's move on to the fights and try and get some sort of happiness out of this. Let's take a little break from me chatting your guys' ears off, then we'll get right back to the program because NFL's opening week was action-packed. My Broncos play tonight, baby, but the Chargers look good. Rams look awful. Cowboys look absolutely terrible, but it's just getting started. Don't throw your team out the bathwater yet. They might be able to pull it out, man. It's the NFL. You never know. Get ready for week 2 of touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action? Cool. Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. This Sunday, bet on any NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if they lose. As long as you get up by 10, you win, baby. Fight fans, DraftKings Sportsbook also has you covered. You got Corey Sandhagen fighting this week. Bet on my boy. Don't forget about the highly anticipated trilogy happening in Vegas this Saturday. Triple G, Canelo. Who do you think is going to pull off the trilogy? I like Canelo, but also the prop bets, we're going to make money there, all right, with my friends at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code SCHAUB. That's SCHAUB show to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code SCHAUB show only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. See next page for directions for disclaimer. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code SHOPSHOW. Now let's get back to the freaking program. Psych, we're not getting back to the program because, listen, I'm here to talk to you about Kratom. Listen, I fire up my brain with Kratom before any podcast or stand-up. It's my limitless pill. I feel like Bradley Cooper. I just don't look like him. They don't help you look better, but they help you think better. That's right. It's the best focused product I've ever used. All right, and best part, it's all natural, baby. It's all natural. That's what we want. There's one ingredient. It's Kratom. It's the purest, best Kratom you can get. Kratom's like the CBD market. Remember, it was the Wild West. You're like, I guess I'm going to use this CBD. Well, now you can trust my friends at Happy Hippo. And if you visit happyhippoherbals.com, all right, that's happyhippoherbals.com, use the promo code ThickBoy, you get 20% off for life. You can use that code as many times as you want. That's happyhippoherbals.com, promo code ThickBoy, 20% off for life for the best Kratom ever. UFC 279. So for the first time ever, you've had a shuffling of the card. And listen, I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm also not here, I'm not jumping on this freaking mic in Thick Boy Studios to tell you that the UFC was in on this and it was this whole, weird conspiracy and all this stuff was going on and they've always planned to do this. I don't believe in any of that. I do think there's something to be said. There's a few things that give me skeptical hippo eyes. There's a few things where I go, that's interesting. So let's talk about those things. First of all, the Daniel Rodriguez, Kevin Holland fight being at a catch weight of 180 was always kind of suspect to me because they've made guys take way shorter notice fights and cut weight, right? So for that to be at 180, to me, there was enough time to do the fight at welterweight if they wanted to, but they decided to do a catch weight at 180. Okay, I was like, I didn't think much of it. Hamzat, right, who's the kind of the catalyst of why the card got shaken up in the first place. Hamzat, he didn't miss weight. He blew through the weight. He wasn't even close, man. So there's missing weight when you're off by like half a pound. That's missing weight. When you're 180 pounds, you didn't even try, dude. And, he's a professional, and he's also not a guy, like, this is no shade at Tony Ferguson. He's not a guy that puts his camp together and, he runs the thing and what he says goes. No. Khamzat comes from a camp with they're as professional as it gets, man. So when it comes to weight cutting, there's no way that guy was just, not doing what he had to get done to make the weight. And he's made the weight before, right? So we know he can do it. And the way he missed weight, to me, there's no way Khamzat, who's fighting Nate Diaz, which is the biggest fight of his career, hands down, main event, right? On a pay-per-view, biggest opportunity in his life, is going to come in 10 pounds overweight at his level with the camp he comes from. And then people said that he was out the night before at weigh-ins, eating and drinking and doing stuff. So, and then also they said the doctor checked in on him, and Neil Magny, a good buddy of mine and training partner for many of years, goes, I've never had a doctor come and check on my weight, make sure I'm going to do it that far out. That's strange. He's like, I don't know, so there's a lot of stuff going on there. And then also with Khamzat, when he missed weight, he wasn't like, oh my God, are you kidding me? It was a joke, played it off. And then the UFC, there's certain things that you can get away with, and they're still going to play ball and, and promote you and put you as main events and give you big fights. There's certain things you can get away with being the bad boy. I'm not saying Khamzat's the bad boy, but we'll get to that, how he needs to lean into that dark side. But there's certain things you do that's frowned upon, but the UFC is even like, all right, whatever, man. But the one thing they do not compromise on is when a fighter misses weight. It's the one thing, man. It's the one thing the UFC has zero tolerance for. If you're Khamzat, we all know this. Everyone who makes weight knows this. If you're Khamzat, dude, that's a big fucking deal. You didn't miss it by half a pound. You missed it by a significant amount of weight. And he had no fucks given. Now, maybe that's a Chechen thing. I don't know. That's the only time where I have skeptical hippo eyes. Something's going on there where it was agreed to way before that he was going to come in at 180 pounds, I think. I think also, which adds to it. Now, I don't think this is a conspiracy, and the UFC was like, all right, let's do this to Nate and Khamzat and Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez and Leach and switch it all about. And I don't think it's like that. I do think they were kind of trying to figure things out. But there's something to be said where the UFC, and Dana said this, I'm not pulling this out of my ass, but the UFC knows how a pay-per-view is going to do. They know how it's going to sell before the fights go live, before the first preliminary fight. Going into weigh-ins, they can see how it's trending, how it's tracking through all their promotions. They can usually tell. What I think happened, again, this is just my opinion. I have no way to back this up, no evidence. They're not going to give me any of the data to back this up, which, sucks, but whatever. I think that fans were turned off by the UFC, and especially Dana White in particular, his treatment of Nate Diaz and the way that Nate Diaz has always been, kind of F the man and done it his way. And then he wants out, and people don't like the way he's being treated, and he keeps asking for fights, and they weren't giving him fights. And then they just don't give him a fight. They give him the worst matchup possible. And I think fans, and I said this on Firing the Kid, a clip that went pretty viral for me, if you're a Nate Diaz fan, the way you show the UFC that this isn't right and we don't agree with this, and listen, I love Nate Diaz as much as you guys do, but the way that the only way you can affect the UFC's bottom line, but then you're also affecting Nate Diaz's bottom line, so it's tricky. But the only way to fight back against this, don't buy the pay-per-view. Don't subscribe to it. Say, we don't like this, because this matchup, man, when it started, it was whatever, minus 1,800 Khamzat. The guy's it made no sense in any facet. To me, it made completely no. The pros, cons, there's so many more cons. So I think what happened, and again, the UFC knows how pay-per-view is going to do before the first fight happens Saturday night. The week of, they know how it's trending, how it's going to go. They have a pretty good idea. They don't know down to a T. Please turn off your phone. They don't know down to a T, but they do know that how it's going to be a success or not. And I think the backlash that Dana received as soon as this fight was announced, people were furious. Fighters were furious. Dan Hardy, who's a huge figure in the space, did not approve of it. A lot of people didn't agree with it. Now, of course, you're going to have your people go, you don't count Nate Diaz out. I get all that. But I think for hardcores, I'm sorry, not hardcores, for the general fan, they know Nate Diaz. Everyone knows Nate Diaz. He's famous as shit. They don't know Khamzat. But the only thing they find out from Khamzat is he's this Chechnyan monster he's not just a small favorite. It's going to be a slaughter. And like, oh, that's not right. So I think if people can assume the outcome of a fight, they went, I'm not interested in seeing Dana White once again fuck over a fighter who's put his livelihood on the line for him. And so it wasn't trending very well. It wasn't trending very well at all because you kind of knew the outcome. The UFC fucked up. They overplayed their hand. They thought the audience was dumb, and we're not dumb. The general fan is not dumb. So I think they went, I'm good on that one. I'm good on that. You're going to do what to Nate? No, fuck that, man. I don't want to see that shit. We respect Nate too much. We respect Nate too much. So it wasn't trending well. So UFC went, we got to come up with something, man. We got to come up with something. What can we do? What can we do? And it just so happens that Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez are at this weird catch weight at 180. Khamzat weighs in at 180. So not only was it a complete shuffle, but it was a perfect shuffle, not of one matchup, of three on the pay-per-view. Now, to UFC's credit, when they did shuffle it up, it's a better fight card, a way better fight card. It just happened the day before, so I'm still curious how this thing does. You know, I don't know the pay-per-view numbers. They're crushing it. They're making more money than ever, but, you know, a day's notice to change things like that. I'm curious. The hardcores were in regardless. Nobody cares. But for where they make their nut is off the common fan. So I'm curious if the common fan kept up with all. It was hard to keep up. Even for the staff here for Thick Boy Studios, you know, Friday night I'm going on and off stage doing the meet and greets, doing all that, and I get back to my phone, I have a jagillion texts. People are like, oh, did you hear what happened to Khamzat? Oh, did you hear Kevin Holland? Oh, did you hear this? And then the other thing that gives me skepto hippo eyes with all this, again, I don't think it's a big conspiracy. I just think it wasn't trending well. They had this kind of as a plan B, right? And it was a great plan B. And they were able to pull it off if the audience weren't buying into it, which to their surprise, we didn't buy into it because we don't want to see anybody treated like Nate Diaz was being treated. So what else gives me kind of skeptical hippo eyes is, remember, this all started off with the weigh-ins. And Dana gets on the mic and goes, for the first time ever, we're going to have to cancel weigh-in. It's mayhem. They didn't have the security. It was chaos back there. No doubt. Chaos. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, also, what'd you expect when you have guys like Nate Diaz, Tony Ferguson, Khamzat, Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez? Like, you're dealing with some wild boys, man. You lined up this should be UFC 279 fucking bad boys. Like, you line up the dudes who give no F's given, man. And you guys, everybody knows this. You know these guys are going to mouth off. You know Khamzat and Holland have an issue with each other. You know Nate Diaz has an issue with everybody. You look at him wrong, he's going to fight you. If you were hired for Showtime to, you know, promote Conor McGregor and it's a paid gig, he's not going to enjoy that. He's going to try and fight you, even though you're in Gucci boots and tight jeans, okay? That's Nate Diaz, bro. So you know what you're dealing with is the point here. So those weigh-ins, which I've been in a significant amount of them, over, 15 of them probably, in big events, especially pay-per-views. You got to realize there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times 2 is 26. So you have 26 professional fighters on this pay-per-view card. Each one of those 26 fighters has a team. So you got to realize they're all in the back there sitting because it's roped off, right? So the fans can't see the back there of all the fighters, and most of them, especially there's only a few heavyweights on this card. I think one heavyweight fight was on this card, right? Yeah, I think so. So you have, your one heavyweight fight, but for the most part, everybody back there's just barely getting by. They're low energy, cranky, freaking no nutrients, depleted of water. They just want to get on the scale and get out of there, right? But you gotta remember, those 26 fighters have their camp comes with them to these weigh-ins. So 26, let's say being friendly, and there's way more guys like this. Let's say I have those 26 guys Each person gets 3 cornermen. So 26 guys, 26 times 3 is what?
I'm going to do it right now because I cannot do math. 78, yeah.
78. So and this is just being conservative. You have 78 people back there. Fight teams, coaches, nutritionists, and then you have the fighters. There's not much to do back there. And this is even when I fought. And this was before cell phones or, people are addicted to them like they are now. There's nothing to do. Everybody's on their phone. Every single person in the back of that weigh-in has their phone. Okay, cool. So you have, how many, Jay? 70-some people?
78.
78 people with their phones. Let's just be conservative and say freaking 50 of them have their phones out, which would be insane this day and age in the cell phone age we live in. So 50 people have their phones out. It was mayhem. It was crazy. People's heads were flying off. Freaking Hamzat, freaking Spartan kicked Kevin Holland. Nate Diaz got involved. And then freaking Daniel Rodriguez. And then Tony was upset and Nate was throwing things. And oh my God, we didn't have enough security. Right. Where's the footage? Nobody got anything? And then the build up to it, they show you this clip to show us the mayhem. Did you see the clip they posted? That's not mayhem. Maybe my definition of mayhem is a little different than the UFC. But you're going to cancel a weigh-in of a huge pay-per-view over that? It can't be the clip you showed me. There has to be more clips out there, right? Show me one clip. Go. Jim, bring it up. You can't.
I just saw a picture.
Yeah,
like
sure.
this.
Yeah.
That was it.
Mayhem, though.
I know.
Now, think about when DC, granted this was open to the public, think about when DC and John Jones fought. Remember that? And the little dude's in the middle and he's trying to stop and fucking terrified and they're fighting. How many clips do you see from the fans there? Unreal. Thousands. You're telling me not one person got any footage? Nothing? Zero? Zilch? Just that one post to build up the pay-per-view that they aired on Saturday morning? That's it? I'm not buying it. Now, do I think Hamzat and Kevin... Here's the other thing. Those 26 fighters, it's like the JFK thing where Callan, he wants to... his argument for every conspiracy is, you think all those people are in on it? I'm like, no, all those people aren't in on it. The main people who make decisions are in on it, 100%. Do I think Hamzat knew he was going to fight Kevin Holland? Yes. Do I think Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson might have had an idea? Yes. Outside of those 4 gentlemen, the 4 big boys that made the card, nobody else is in on this. And now when I say in on it, I think UFC was like, here's the deal. This is what's happening. And Nate Diaz said they offered him a ton of money, which great. That's what they should do. It's just, I'm not. It's not a conspiracy because the winner out of all this is Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz won, man. So Nate Diaz, he got to avoid Hamzat. And again, being a Nate Diaz fan, if the world is working like it is and rotating like it should, there's not a fucking chance he beats Hamzat, dude. The way Hamzat, and I think Kevin Holland is a more dangerous fighter for Hamzat. Way more dangerous. So for Hamzat to go in there and I don't think he got touched. Destroyed Kevin Holland. Insane, dude. You're like, Jesus Christ. When he locked in that fucking choke, I think it was a Darce choke. When he locked it, Darce, was that kind of, I have to go back and look, but it was a Darce. So when he locked in that Darce choke, remember, Kevin Holland's a black belt. For him to do that, are you kidding me, dude? This dude is a fucking savage. And notice Hamzat too, no fucks given. Gets on the mic, I don't give a fuck, boo, blah, because he almost ruined the event. But in actuality, he didn't. The UFC knew this was happening. Hamzat knew this was happening. His team knew this was going to happen. He's not sorry for missing weight. Doesn't give a fuck what you think about him missing weight. Dana doesn't really care. For the first time ever, Dana doesn't care about a fighter missing weight. To me, it's just, I get things work out. And so maybe this is the one time where, it does look like this just happened. The UFC pulled out, and hats off to him, but it just worked out a little too well for my liking to not question some of it. That's all I'm saying. I think that the general fans were not in on this, the treatment of Nate Diaz and the massacre and watching him walk the fucking mile walk to the fucking guillotine. And people are like, no. You don't want to do this. We'll replay our hand, man. We got to switch this up. Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz makes perfect sense. Again, Nate Diaz won. So now Nate Diaz is a free agent, right? He fought his last fight in the UFC. And he's like, I'm going to show those boys how it's done outside the UFC. Everyone's doing it wrong. A lot of things Nate says, people are like, yeah, right, you're right, man. He can say whatever. And people are like, you got this. It'd be tough to do it better than Conor did against Floyd Mayweather. It'd be very tough. That was unheard of, So my hat's off to him. And I think for Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson, I'll just call it like I see it. Again, I love Nate and Tony. Was it the best fight we've ever seen? Absolutely not. Did one look 38 and the other look 36? Absolutely. The difference between Tony Ferguson and Nate Diaz is Nate Diaz has adjusted the way he fights. He obviously, you're not going to be a completely different fighter, but when you get older, you can't use the same pace. You can't use the same tactics you use when you're a young man at 26. So Nate's style and the way he fights is really beneficial as you get older. Nate's never been the most explosive. Nate's never been a guy that just, stalks you and comes after you. Nate's a volume puncher. Back in the day, he's a volume puncher that wears you out, has a granite chin, and eventually he's going to get you. But he's adapted at his age where he's not a volume puncher. He's not throwing a million fucking punches like he used to. He wasn't coming out like a banshee. So his style is predicated now and adapts better the older he is, and it works for him. Now, is he going to beat anybody in the welterweight division in the top 10? Absolutely not. No. He's older, man. So for Tony Ferguson, though, a guy who's very unconventional, spinning back kicks and rolling around the ground, explosive, that style as you get older can't exist. You can't do it. It's not going to work. You can't be an older man at 36 or 37, where the fuck he is, and then still try those same things when you don't have those young muscle fibers, the explosive tendencies. And you saw that. Those spinning elbows and the spinning kick stuff, we saw it a mile away. Nate saw it a mile away, Nate saw it a fucking mile away. So for me, it was tough to watch. It was a good fight. It was a legendary fight. It's no different than watching Matt Brown, or it's no different than when we watch BJ Penn. So when people go, well, what do you mean, man? This is what we thought it was. I didn't have time to think what it was. It was happening. I got an 8-hour fucking notice. What do you mean it is what I thought it was? So it was great that, Tony and Nate, and to be completely honest, it should be both their last fights in the UFC. Now, I know Nate said, I'm going to go do some things, come back to the UFC. The only reason he leaves that door open, and I think the UFC brass is stoked about that, because for Nate, when you think about his options, he has his fight league thing coming up, but take that out. That's whatever. That's going to be very difficult to pull off just for a number of reasons. But for Nate, what would happen is this only adds more value to his fight against Jake Paul now. So we all want to see Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul. Nate Diaz is coming off a win. He looked great. He's the talk of the town. And, he did outstrike Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson's leg kicks were effective. Nate even threw some leg kicks. But now, Nate coming off a win over Tony Ferguson just adds more value to Nate's brand and adds more value to the Jake Paul-Nate Diaz fight, which we're going to get next. But outside that, Nate's not going to have a professional boxing career. Come on. There's no way. You can't watch that fight on Saturday night and go, I want to see that guy fight a professional boxer. Hell yeah, dude. And and after watching that Jake Paul fight's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tougher fight than you guys think. That's a tough fight for Nate, man. Jake's young, explosive, hits like a Mack truck. Another thing about why Nate won that night is that was Tony Ferguson's first fight at welterweight. Tony is not a welterweight. Tony is not a big 155er. Tony was designed for 155. He's the perfect size for 155. He does so much cardio. He's a savage with all that stuff. Tony at 55, especially in his prime, one of the best we've ever seen. Tony is not a welterweight. Tony was just at welterweight because he was trying to fit. He was lost. He's trying to get a win, trying to figure something out. You could just tell Nate Diaz was much bigger. Now, granted, Nate had, won the Ultimate Fighter at 55, has a lot of fights at 55. Nate now, as he's older, Nate's a true 170er. He's 170 all day. Nate's a big fucking kid, man. So Tony Ferguson, the fight against the Leech would have been better. Still a tough fight for him, but he was so undersized in that fight. He would land stuff and just it wouldn't have the same effect that did when he was at 155. So Nate Diaz being bigger eventually wore him out. Tony Ferguson, his team tell him to shoot, I thought was strange, especially that late into the game. They ended up getting choked, with 209. 209, as they say it.
That's what the pictures say, but I mean, I don't know.
It actually went a little longer. I mean, you could stop at 209, but look, he sunk the choking at 209. It's like, boy, you guys are reaching.
I would love for that to be real, though.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
awesome,
But boy, are you guys reaching.
I know.
I was listening to some other analysts talk about it. Yeah, like he even choked him at 209. This is destiny. It's like, I watched the fight twice. That wasn't at 209. Oh, I know what you guys are doing. Oh, you guys paused it, so it looks like it happened at 209, but it's actually after that. But fair play, whatever. But I think both guys should be done in the UFC. Now, for Nate, when you think about his options, Nate talks a ton of shit, right? Ton of shit about the UFC, which is why we love it, right? He's the one, he slapped Dana White, which was hilarious. Dana and him have had his issues. He has issues with the UFC brass. He's had so many issues. They were going to try to penalize him by giving him Hamzat, which didn't end up working in UFC's favor and actually worked in Nate's favor and got the win. His stock's so big right now. But when you look at Nate's options, and when Nate goes, yeah, I still want to fight in MMA, well, what options would he have outside the UFC? UFC's, I mean, again, my point is Nate talks all this shit. Have you ever heard Nate talk shit about fighter pay? Ever? Ever asked for compensation? I'm not compensated enough. Nate's making bank, dude. Nate's making money. A lot of money. He said he made so much money, he doesn't even know how much he made for this fight. Now they had to pay him more because they gave him Tony Ferguson's different fight than Hamzat, which I'm the UFC, I'm like, we're going to pay you less, right? Because easier fight. But, you've never heard Nate Diaz go at the UFC about fighter pay or raising the fighter pay ever. You've never heard him talk about, man, I'm not paid enough to do this, but never. They've always hooked Nate up. His fights against Conor, he could retire now, I'd imagine. He's not one of those guys that are flashy and driving fucking Lamborghinis and has a house in Newport. That's not Nate. Nate's straight when it comes to financial. Nate's good. You've never heard him question the UFC about pay because they're taking care of the big boys. He's a big boy. They're taking care of him. So you've never heard him question fighter pay. Let's take another little break. I gotta pay all these thick boy employees around here, man. They don't work for free, but it is NFL season, kids. It's week 2, baby. Week 2. Room for my Broncos once again and the Chargers, which is weird to say because the same conference, but I have to watch the Chargers out here. Only team on TV all the time. Listen, you can watch week 2 of the NFL season with my friends, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on any football game and $200 in free bets instantly. You want more action? Say less. Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. This Sunday or Monday, you can bet on any NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly. Even if they lose, all good. As long as they get it by 10, you win. It's that easy. All right, fight fans, you got Corey Sandhagen fighting this Saturday. Bet on that. You got Triple G Canelo. Bet on that. Make bank, bro. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code SHOW to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code SHOW, SCHAUB, show, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age, eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. See next page for directions. Disclaimer. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code SHOW. All my bros out there, I'm worried about your wieners. That's right. And it's time to bring that same summer heat right into the bedroom. Summer's ending, but the heat doesn't have to stop because you can get confidence in your life with my friends at Blue Chew. That's where they help you out inside the bedroom. They're not there, watching you do your thing. No, they're not there. They're just a supplement to your bedroom game because all they care about is your wiener and your wiener living its full life, man. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it's in chewable tablets, fraction of the cost. Take them anytime you want, day, night, plan ahead, or when it's time to go, chew that little tablet and you're going, baby. It's super simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, all right? And then you consult with one of their licensed medical providers. Once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days. So you're not waiting a long time to get that wiener game up. Best part, it's all done online. No awkward conversations with the doctor. You're not waiting in line at the pharmacy for these wiener pills, all right? Blue Chew tablets are made in the U.S. of A, prepared and shipped direct to your door. Discreet little package, all right? We got you covered, man. So if you could benefit from a little extra confidence, we all can. When it's time to go, when your lady or man's are raring to go, Blue Chew can help. Chew it and do it, baby. And I got a special deal for you guys. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SCHAUB, SCHAUB. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code SCHAUB to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details, important safety information. And I thank Blue Chew for being part of this podcast. Now for reals, let's get back to the program. So when you think about outside of the UFC, who's going to compensate him more than the UFC? I don't think there's any organization that's going to pay him more. So it doesn't make much sense as far as taking more MMA fights. You have the Jake Paul fight. This how I think Nate's career goes. I would bet a lot of money on this. He's going to leave the UFC. He's going to fight Jake Paul, I'd say in the next 6 to 8 months. You're going to get the Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight. He'll make a ton of money off that. When that fight gets announced, I'll break it down. That's a tough fight for Nate. Win, lose, or draw, he's making more money he's ever made in the UFC doing that. I think so. After that, I think he does go back to UFC and signs a one-fight deal to fight Conor McGregor in the trilogy. And then that's it. That's it for Nate. That's it. So I think what Nate Diaz is doing now by leaving the UFC, he's basically waiting for Conor to get his shit together so he can come back to the UFC and fight him in a trilogy fight and then ride and make more money than God and ride off in the sunset. So if you're a Nate Diaz fan, I think you have 2 fights left in his career, and they're the biggest paydays he's ever gotten. You're getting Jake Paul, you're getting Conor McGregor. Both up in the air fights. Both fights he could win, both fights he can lose. He's either be 0-2 or 2-0. You know what I'm saying? So they're both big money fights, big name fights. And I don't know what Conor's deal is with the UFC, but a part of me thinks, Conor, the mastermind that he is, but him and Dana have been good. There's rumors out there like, yeah, Nate's getting out of it, and then Conor's getting out of his contract, and they'll put on that trilogy fight on their own promotion. That's why Nate has his own promotion. They'll do it on his own promotion, and then they're cutting the UFC out. I think that's a bad idea. I think it being the UFC and having the UFC, machine behind it is the way to go. I actually end up thinking they'd make more money doing that, because if you wait too long, you're not going to make much money. You still make money. People always want to see the trilogy, but if you wait too long, you're going to be, it's a bad example. I was going to say Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, but that's like the greatest pay-per-view of all time, even though it happened fucking 6 years later and it should have. So for Nate and Conor, I think Nate Diaz is going to take a little vacation and go make whatever, $30 million and box Jake Paul, and it'll be huge and probably be on Showtime. And then comes back, signs a one-fight deal, fights Conor in the trilogy. It's a massive fight. And it's a hell of a fight because they're both fighting exactly who they should fight. And then that's it for Nate. And that's probably it for Conor as well. That's how that story ends. And then also with to wrap this up, with Khamzat, he has to be the only guy who's missed weight by this much and his stock has gone up. You can't tell me after watching Khamzat, not taking a single blow to the fucking face, body, and absolutely mollywhopping Kevin Holland. You can't tell me you don't want to see him fight more. You can't tell me that. And for Khamzat, he's getting booed inside that octagon because he did, according to the general fans, risk the entire card, right? Which he didn't, but he's down to take this fall. I think in the UFC's in on this too. He's leaning into that bad boy kind of look. He doesn't give a fuck. There's a lot of money to be made being the bad boy. Ask John Jones. Ask Floyd Mayweather. One's the best ever in boxing. The other's the best ever in mixed martial arts. They're bad boys. People are paying to see them lose. Hamzat knows where the money's at. Hamzat's not paying attention to your social media. Hamzat doesn't give a shit if you think he risked the whole card and is unprofessional. He does not give a shit. And there's a lot of money in being the guy people hate on because they're watching a shit. Trust me. So for Hamzat, he don't give a shit. Cool. You hate him? Cool. Watch him fight the next guy. Pay him money to watch him lose. It's gonna be tough for this guy to lose. So if you're Hamzat, you can go two ways. I don't think UFC's too concerned about him making weight. They didn't seem to give a shit either. And that's why I have skeptical hippo eyes on this thing. Because there's the one fucking rule that you cannot break as a UFC fighter is missing weight. Because then you become untrustworthy. They put all this marketing into the main event and you're missing weight. It fucks them. Notice Dana's not like, we got to make sure that we get this. This is ridiculous. That is the one thing that Dana's furious about, dude. Furious. Most guys, once they miss weight, they're not a main event the next fight. They put them, the first fight on the pay-per-view or they're on the prelims. They're going to discipline you and make you prove to them that you can make weight in order for them to back you and put all this money into marketing. Guarantee that doesn't happen with Hamzat. Guarantee you he's a main event next fight. Probably at 170. Probably against Colby Covington. That's the next fight. It's Colby Covington.
You mentioned the whole weight thing many times before, so I get it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. So do you think this is probably the biggest conspiracy thing that's actually potentially true with the UFC?
I see. To me, I don't know. It's weird to get, I'm not a conspiracy guy. Listen, the JFK thing, just look into it. I think it's clear as day. I mean, come on now. But, the whole flat earth thing, lizard people, all that shit, I don't subscribe to a lot of that. It's fun. Also, conspiracies are a lot funner than the truth. If the truth is, yeah, man, it was chaos back there. There was no security. We were worried about the safety of the fighters. We had to cancel. It's like, man, there's been worse stuff that happened at those weigh-ins than this, and you just cancel this. And maybe it could be part of the reason now that they're with Disney, and Disney's like, hey, man, what's happening here? We can't have this fucking bullshit bare knuckle, fighting in the back. Let's shut this shit down. Like, we have zero tolerance for this. Mickey Mouse does not like violence. We do not like violence. We're trying to promote Pinocchio with Tom Hanks. And you got fucking guys ripping each other's faces off and throwing water bottles, Like, imagine, remember the weigh-ins? Remember the press conference, Nate Diaz and Connor? They were throwing water bottle. They're throwing fucking Rain energy drink. They're throwing Monster full energy drinks. We have them here. Shout out to Rain. Dude, I throw one of those fucking things. My arm's okay. That hits you in the face. Ain't nobody fighting. There was no talk of canceling the event. There was no talk of mixing up the event. That wasn't even mentioned. There's been way stuff than this. So again, when it comes to conspiracy, I don't know. Nate Diaz got paid. It worked out for him. I'm sure Kevin Holland got paid more. Daniel Rodriguez and Leach are, they were just, pawns in this game,
So Dana did say, he was on record saying, like, no one got paid an additional boost for the switch up.
Oh, I disagree.
But I don't believe.
No, I don't believe that.
Like a lot of stuff.
Hold on, you're gonna go to Tony Ferguson. They always pay you more. This is why. See that's it. That's what I'm trying not to be a conspiracy guy, but you're making it hard, Chin. So
Dana has lied many times before, but yeah.
Lied, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah. Fucks guys over all the time, but still a fan, still support the team. But with Tony Ferguson, hold on, let me get this straight. You want me to go from fighting at 170 my first time against Leach, 3 rounds, to a 5-round main event pay-per-view and save the card, and you're telling me they didn't compensate him more? Come on, guys. That's not real. Of course they compensated him more. Of fucking course they did. Now, Hamzat, I don't know what happened with Hamzat. That's where, see, the one who knows exactly how this all went down is Hamzat. Guarantee it. His team, they know. Play the game. Well, don't worry. You're going to take a lot of heat for this. It's actually good for your brand. You're going to get even more famous. And he did exactly what he had to do. Because if he struggled with Kevin Holland, he'd be like, this isn't, his stock goes way down. Like if he went in there and Kevin Holland almost choked him out, or let's say he won by decision, it's like back and forth. Even though Kevin Holland's a fucking monster, a more dangerous fight than Nate Diaz, you know, he went in there and absolutely mollywopped him. It was like, next. Hamzat, listen, Hamzat could have fought Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson at the same time and won. And that is no disrespect to anybody on that card. And then you're going to pair him as a main event against Nate Diaz, this guy who's fucking done everything he can for the organization, and you're going to fucking toss him to this Chechenian savage? How dare you? The UFC went, ooh, we overplayed our hand. People aren't feeling this. No, we're not feeling it. It's fucked up, man. It ain't right. Nate Diaz won in the end. So again, conspiracy, not conspiracy, I don't give a shit. The fighters win on this one. Hamzat, everyone won on this one. Everybody. Kevin Holland's stock isn't any lower. He's fine. He'll get another fight. He wants to be active. He's like, I need 3 fights, man. If you can't give me 3 fights here, get me the fuck out of here. I want to fight way more. Let's go. You know? That's exactly how you should deal with it. But yeah, guaranteed Tony first got compensated. Kevin Holland got compensated. Again, for Kevin Holland, let me get this straight. You were going to have me fight Daniel Rodriguez for 3 rounds at a catch weight, and now you want me to fight Hamzat, the biggest savage on the roster, for 5 rounds to save the card too? So you got to realize too, in those situations, it's one of the only times the fighter has the power to do anything, to ask for whatever the fuck they want. It's the only time they have any negotiating power. Because if Nate Diaz, Tony Ferguson, Hamzat, and Kevin Holland don't play ball, the UFC loses their ass. They put millions into marketing. So if Nate Diaz goes, oh, let's play the game where Nate Diaz and Hamzat, this has all happened just by chance and nobody's behind this and there's no conspiracy. Let's say that it just happened. Well, if you go to Nate Diaz, who is by far the biggest power on the card, by far, the biggest star power on the card. Without Nate Diaz, you don't have much going on there. Hamzat's not there yet. For the hardcores, he's there. We're going to pay to see him fight whoever. I'll pay to see him fight whoever. But Tony Ferguson's never been a headliner. He's been fight night headliners. He's not a pay-per-view star. Kevin Holland's not there. Hamzat's not there. So if Nate Diaz doesn't play ball and they don't pay him more, you don't have a card. So of course he made more money. They're all of them had to agree to this for it to be perfect. And it's the only time the fighter has any power to go, let me think about it. Let me think about it. I'll do it for this much. And the UFC says yes or no. I guarantee the UFC goes, well, not that much, right? You want to overplay your hand. They go, but we'll give you this much. Okay, deal. We're going to save your ass and still fight. Because again, if there's no conspiracy for Nate, you're changing the tune completely, which is better. You have better chance to win this fight, but you're still, let's say there's no conspiracy and you've been fighting Hamzat, who's a guy, completely different than Tony Ferguson on a day notice. No, you gotta pay me more, man. I'll save this, and they have the power. They have all the power because UFC's going. How much do we put in marketing? 10 million. Holy fuck! All right, well, we marketed one fight. We're not going to get it, and they can easily shit on them and go, nope, not happening. Yeah, Hamzat could have been like, nope, not happening. Tony Ferguson like, nope, not happening. You don't have a card. I guarantee you they paid those guys. Guarantee it. Bet my last fucking dollar on it. They all got compensated. They all knew what was happening. Conspiracy, I don't know. Worked out for the better. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but just the general rule, how fucking the fight game works. It worked out for the better, Yep. Way better. To have the catch rate thing was weird with Rodriguez and Holland, the whole way, the weekend leading up to it. No footage from the weigh-ins. That was so chaotic. They were so scared for the first time. They couldn't even do the weigh-ins proper. Come on, man. There's no footage? The entire camp's back there. There's none? It was that bad? Was there a circumstance where Hamzat and Kevin Holland got into it? 100%. And then did you see the video of Kevin Holland and Darren Till, who obviously Darren Till's on Hamzat's team and they're training partners and close friends? Did you see them calmly chatting at the hotel?
I guess a sort of an argument, but not really.
Kind of.
Nothing.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It is kind of crazy, man.
Listen, I'm not saying everybody's in on it and they're pulling the wool over our eyes. I'm just saying, and the guys made more money and it worked out better for Nate Diaz and Hamzat. They both come out fucking winners out of all this. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
All right, Jim. But there were some good fights on the card. There's some other fights, good fights on the card. Our boy, the original thick boy. He is the thick boy mascot in the UFC, Chris Barnett. Not to be confused with not to be confused with Josh Barnett. Chris Barnett, who also missed weight on the card at the heavyweight limit. Weighed 267.5, and he tried his best, man. It's just not in the cards for that man. He was getting fucking mollywopped in that fight, dropped, wobbled, and then pulls it out. I don't know if you've seen this man's social media. I think he's gained 200,000 subscribers, followers on Instagram overnight. And if you go to it, dude, he's like Derek Lewis, but he can dance his ass off. I would love to talk to him, get him on food truck. There's no way you can tell me that Beast Boy Chris Barnett doesn't have some sort of football background. How can you be that big and that good of footwork? I mean, he dances like a fucking NSYNC member. This dude can look at him dance. Personality through the fucking roof.
Yeah, he's so fun to watch.
So look at him dance.
Yep.
You gotta get this guy on the main card. He's too fun not to. He's so fun.
Yeah.
He's so fun, dude.
And apparently he didn't have a ride home.
I done got me selling ass in the corner. I don't feel safe.
He's a black
They're gonna
guy.
take advantage of me, bro.
It's a 3-minute long video, but I guess he didn't have a ride home, so he was asking people on his Instagram to give him a ride home.
I'm a fan, man. Maybe he's the first sponsored athlete of Thick Boy.
That would be freaking dope.
I mean, this guy had to play fucking football. There's no way you're over 300 pounds with that footwork and didn't play some football. Because he's the ideal size for a defensive tackle and not the NFL, but at a college level, and that footwork is nutsos. Like you see him dance, like what in the fuck?
Yeah, crazy athletic.
Crazy footwork, dude. Crazy athletic. All right, Jim, what else you got?
All right, I'm sure you know these guys because you're an NFL guy. But so Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson had a boxing match over the weekend.
I saw this highlight. Mark showed me in the green room. I mean, this can't be healthy for Adrian Peterson. Also,
isn't he like one of the best athletes or something out there?
No, hold up. First ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best ever running backs. I played against him in college when he was at Oklahoma. He beat the shit. When you see him in person, like, Jesus Christ, dude. But both these men, Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson, when you look, that.
I know. That's so crazy. He's out.
My only thing with this is, like, you know how much money Adrian Peterson made playing football?
So he doesn't need to do this at all?
I don't know. Maybe he's awful with finances. I don't know what's going on. Then Le'Veon Bell signed some big-ass contracts, man. Huge contracts. When he's with the Steelers, you're talking about two fucking freaks, man. It's nuts. So when I see this stuff, to me, this is completely opposite of what Jake Paul and Logan Paul does, especially Jake. Logan maybe a little, but these kind of freak show matchups, I guess you need something to do. They're retired. I just don't get it why you'd sign up for this. I don't get it, especially both these guys. Like, even if they were somewhat done with their money, the amount of money they made in their NFL careers, Le'Veon Bell was a monster. Adrian Peterson, one of the best to ever do it. Heisman Trophy winner, MVP. I mean, nuts, dude. Rushed for 2,000 fucking yards in the NFL. Freak.
I did hear I'm pretty sure it's Le'Veon Bell that said that he wanted to take a break from the NFL because he wants to do boxing because it's such a one-on-one kind of sport. So he wants to test himself there. That's why he started training for a while.
Listen, I get as far as that, something to do and like get you motivated and get back in shape. Two freaks, man. It bums me out to see it. Imagine if like fucking Joe Montana and Boomer Sison fought each other or some shit.
Well, not now.
Dan Marino and Joe Montana. Casey likes it.
Yeah, Casey likes it. This was just, okay, you saw this already, but so I guess it's the first time it's ever happened in the UFC or I think anywhere. A liver kick from the bottom.
Yeah, I've never seen it. And it lands perfect. And when you get hit to the body, I don't give a fuck out. It makes tough people fucking crumble.
Yeah.
Leave this. Boom. Heel kick.
So,
and
you
most people
nailed
go,
that.
oh, like I bet a lot more people will be trained to do this now. It's like that was kind of a freak accident. Like the
definitely
chance of you getting liver kicked from the bottom, not good. So you could waste your entire fucking camp training that. Chance of landing are not good. So just hope it happens, but don't train for it, you know?
But that was pretty crazy to see. Georgie, Keto George? Yeah, Keto George sent me this. This is Ann Essen Gibb KOing Austin McBroom. I don't know much about these
Were they
guys.
big TikTokers or some shit?
Something like that, yeah. So here we go.
That's it?
That was pretty much
There's
it.
no knockout?
I mean, that was
I
he got knocked down.
see.
Let's see if there's more.
See, when people see the problem is because anyone can do this, right? You have Le'Veon Bell, you have Lamar Odom, you have Nick Young, like you have these guys do this, like the problem with it because you have the Jake Pauls of the world and you have these YouTubers, TikTokers doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference. You can't watch Mick Broom Gibb, where the fuck Mick Broom.
I don't know,
Gibb.
yeah, dude.
You can't watch them and then also view Jake Paul in the same light. Like, do you know what Woodley or fucking any guy that Jake Paul's fought would do against these guys? Like that's the problem though. Like the waters get murky when you're comparing these kind of quote unquote circus acts.
Yeah, just the fact that freaking Jake Paul took on Tyron Woodley. To me, that
Twice.
that was enough for me to be like, okay.
And dude, Anderson Silva, that should give you all the respect in the world for the fucking guy.
Yeah.
He has 5 fights. He's fighting Anderson Silva, one of the greatest to ever do it. Just beat Julio Chavez fucking Jr. He was 50-3. No, he's not his dad. 50-3 professional boxer. He beat the shit out of him, dude. That fight wasn't that close. This shit, I don't. Let me see this.
So this is Nick Young versus
Nick Young's in the blonde hair.
Cohen? That is him, right? The blonde hair, yeah. It just looks so messy, yeah.
It's just,
yeah, nothing like Jake Paul. Jake Paul is like legit, I would say.
yeah.
Just from a fan's perspective.
Especially as the inexperience that he has. Like you're talking. Again, it's some form of. Oh,
What the hell?
he fell out of the ring. You're seeing a professional fall, just kind of nosedives out of the ring? No.
Yeah, I don't know the rest of these people, but yeah.
I don't know any of them except for Nick Young.
Okay, so this was interesting. So apparently, Kevin Holland apparently went for like a touch glove before he fought Chimaev. And people are criticizing Chimaev for not doing the touch glove and just going for, the double leg or single.
Did they have a clip of it?
Yeah, we have it.
Let me see.
So let me know what you think. Not going to do that, so hold on. Play it again.
Whoop, boom. Yeah.
So Kevin Holland definitely went in for the
Yeah,
glove touch.
I don't like it. But again, builds the narrative of the bad guy, doesn't it?
But Chimaev responded like, dude, I'm not going in there to touch gloves. I'm going in to kill him, to take his head off. So,
But my only caveat with that is Chimaev did do this and then shot.
Oh,
If you're not gonna do it, you shake your head. You go, mm-mm. Like when I fought Matt Mitrione, we're legit friends. One of my best friends in the game. You see him on fucking Thick Boy all the time. I was like gloves, and he went like this, and I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. Now for Kevin Holland, like you guys talked all that shit. Kevin Holland talked all that shit. Fake gangster. You're not touching. He's from Chechnya. Touch gloves. To them, that's gay. You can't touch gloves. They didn't touch gloves. No, there's no touching gloves. He's from Chechnya. They don't touch gloves, buddy.
No, he's
and you
gonna
talk all that shit, and then it's apparently got Spartan kicked backstage. And then you think this guy's gonna touch gloves? Again, if there was that animosity, if another grown man kicked me in the fucking middle of my chest in front of everybody, and then they held me back, and it was chaos, and people were throwing shit, You think they're touching, again, this adds to
The conspiracy.
You think they're going to, you would never be like, dude, all good, bro. Let's get it done. What?
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, bro, you kicked me in my chest yesterday. And now I can do something about it for 25 minutes. I'm not touching your glove. We're not touching gloves. But apparently kicked him in the chest. Just nobody ever saw it.
I'm believing in this conspiracy, by the way. I am.
But you'll believe what you want.
Yeah.
I can go on more if you want JFK Jr. stuff.
So did you think Li Jingliang, so I saw the fight too, Li Jingliang and Daniel Rodriguez. Did you think that Li probably got the fight he wanted? Or
Yes, and I'm a huge Daniel Rodriguez fan.
Same.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what I think.
It doesn't matter.
Because the fucking judges gave it to my boy Daniel Rodriguez. He won. On to the next. But if I take my bias hat off, he probably didn't win that fight.
Yeah. And that was pretty crazy, man. Like the weight discrepancy. Lee looks so small compared to him too.
Yes, the whole thing was very strange.
But what do you think about Lee's outfit here?
Fire.
Sick?
Fire, dude. Taking a page out of Sexy Yama's book, dude.
That's true. Yeah, he looked pretty dope.
That fight was in that. I thought that fight would be better. Gotta be honest.
It was kind of boring, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, when they shuffled everything, I thought it was gonna be more exciting for some reason, but then it wasn't as exciting as.
Now that goes against my narrative. Again, my narrative is that Nate and Hamzat knew what was happening. The rest of people are just pawns in the machine. So, for Daniel Rodriguez and Leach to switch opponents on a less than 24 hours, you're going to get those fights.
Yeah.
Those fights aren't going to be better. So that's why I think those guys actually had no clue.
All right, so this is basically just Jake Paul tweeting about Nate Diaz. He had a few tweets. A lot of them are good. So he goes, "This is how you leave an employer and become your own boss." When Nate obviously choked out Tony, and then it just says that the caption says Nate Diaz says he's going into the sport of boxing.
Yeah, he's like, I wonder who he's going to fight.
Yeah.
He's going into the sport of boxing. I wonder who he should
Pause it. I saw this video. I don't like the way his feet are pigeonholed in.
That's so. What's weird? I saw the same thing. I'm thinking, why is he doing?
I was like, why is his feet like that?
Yeah, but it's not.
Why don't you just straighten your feet out there?
true.
You know
I don't
optics,
know.
baby. You're young, man. I'm an old YouTuber here. Even I know them optics, man. Your feet are all pigeonholed in.
It was interesting to see. Yeah, not much to that, but I mean, he says a lot of good stuff about Nate.
So UFC PR team to media attendant post-fight presser. Do not ask our boss Dan about Jake Paul Anderson Silva. He's very upset at Jake. If you do, you will have your media credential revoked. Nate Diaz, a motherfucking legend, would have slapped the shit out of Hamzat. Big news. Nate Diaz officially has his contract. Here's the thing. When it comes to Nate Diaz and pursuing this professional boxing career, he's fighting Jake Paul. He's not going to fight real professional boxers.
Not
That's all he's
Floyd
doing.
or something.
No.
Yeah. Yep. Alrighty.
And here's the thing: would Nate Diaz slap Hamzat? Sure, yeah. I bet he'd slap him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't beat him in a fight. No, yeah.
think so.
I'm with you. I think he slaps him, no doubt. With all that chaos happening, I bet he was trying to slap him. But inside that steel cage where it counts, Nate ain't slapping him.
Yeah, Hamzat's a beast, dude. All right, your boy Patty Pimblett. He recently just talked about how he does suffer from depression, right?
And maybe food's his outlet.
But you
No,
remember,
a lot of people do. Like when I'm
course,
stressed
yeah,
out, my
dude.
diet goes
food,
to
alcohol,
shit.
whatever.
Yeah, you
It could be
crave
anything.
sugars if you're not getting sleep.
But
As my friend, my family, my teams, my fiance, all the people close to me said, I've said it plenty of times out there. I don't even know if I'd still be here now. I've had some dark times myself, lad. I've questioned a lot of things in my own head. Do I do this? Do I do that? I might not be here if it wasn't for all those people close to me. Asked how a person suffering from mental health issues can help themselves. The bat expanded on his advice of reached out to your friend. Jay, you need a good foundation around you, man. You know the saying, get it off your chest. It's real. At the end of 2018, I was in a proper bad place, lad, proper bad place. Just waking up, crying every morning. The missus would get up and go to work. I just roll over and go to sleep. I was rolling over and just crying for like an hour every day. So I had to go over that and get through it and had to speak to people. It's good he's bringing attention to this.
Yeah, so remember his close friend Pat, like he committed suicide,
Yep.
and he was like, if you're a dude and you want to be, you want to be macho, you don't want to talk about all your, stuff that you're dealing with. So he's like, just talk to people, and then you could potentially get through it.
100%. Yeah, good for him, man.
Yeah. So that's good that he's putting that message out there. I know. I thought this was interesting as well. So I saw the salaries for UFC 278. Kamaru Usman made $500,000. Obviously, the pay-per-view points, I don't know all that stuff, but so he made $500,000, and then Leon Edwards made $350,000, which I think is low for a title fight. So I don't know. Costa $130,000.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't make money till you till you become champion. You make like fuck you money when you defend the belt and get pay-per-view points. The UFC takes care of him. I guarantee you Kamaru made way more than that.
Okay.
Leon Edwards, I guarantee they gave him a bonus. He made way more than that. Notice you don't see those guys complain about
I know.
fight pay.
They don't. Yeah. So anyways, Paulo Costa made 130. I thought that was super low for Costa. I don't know. I think he's such a big figure in the sport.
Yeah.
Rockhold made 200, which is cool.
Yep.
Jose Aldo made $400,000, and he lost.
Yep.
But he's a legend, obviously. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was just interesting to see the top two guys make that much money. I thought they would make more. All right. I'm sure you already know this because you're close with Chandler, but it's official now. It's been in the talks. Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler, but it's official now. MSG, November.
Why is it only 3 rounds? And then Chandler signed a new fight deal with the UFC, making bank. That's that daddy
really?
power. Yeah, signed a new deal. That's a great. I'm excited for that fight. It's a great fight. I can't wait. Can't wait. And it's gonna happen in New York, right? Well,
MSG.
So it's not
It's
the
3
main
rounds,
event.
really?
Yeah, so that means it's not the main event. 3 rounds. You know the main event, right, guys? Right? John Jones.
I wish.
I'm telling you, I bet next month or so we get an announcement from John.
Oh, that'd be dope, man.
I'm telling you, this fight has main event written all over it. You're telling me that's not a main event Madison Square Garden? Who could be bigger than that?
I'm surprised it's
John
3 rounds.
Jones, baby.
I'm so surprised it's still 3 rounds.
I'm not.
Though.
Means it's not the main event. Means that main event's gonna be a banger, and the only one bigger than them, because the main event's gonna have to be massive to beat that.
Yeah.
Who's more massive than these?
No,
two?
I'm with you, but
John Jones.
Even with other fights, if it's not a title fight, they'll still do 5 rounds sometimes. So this would be a good 5-round fight. But
Yeah,
whatever.
I wish it was 5 rounds, but when I see it's 3, I'm like, I know what's happening
Hedging?
here. You're getting the John Jones effect.
That's gonna be amazing.
Take all my money.
This is another crazy one. So Darren Till is going to be fighting this badass up-and-comer Dricus du Plessis. Yeah.
Boy, Till needs a fucking win, right?
Yeah, so this is Till's record as of now.
Yeah, he's lost 4 out of his last 5.
Yeah, so not the best. And Dricus is on a 5-fight winning streak?
It's a good matchup for Till, though.
Yeah,
I still root for Till, man.
of course, man.
Yeah. You hope he figures it out. I think there's some mental health stuff there as well.
100%. Yeah. All right, so Thiago Santos, no longer with UFC, signed with PFL.
Good for him. Must get paid. It's a smart move, too. You see his last fight, like his fight with Jamal Hill, him getting starched. At that level where he's at, you're never going to be champ at 205. Go make money with PFL and fight, lesser talent. That's the move all day. Proud of him.
You can make millions.
Yeah, proud of him, man.
All right, so this was interesting. This is, I think, during the
Tony
pre-fight press
Ferguson's
conference.
hair is crazy.
I know. And he dyed it, so it looks even crazier. But so this is him and Li Jingliang saying what's up. But then, you remember Tony had that incident before where he tripped over cables?
Yeah.
And then messed up his knee?
That was at Fox Sports.
And so check this video out. So Lee's pretty much telling, dude, be careful. And he actually did trip on a cord.
Yeah, Leach seems like a good guy, man.
Dude, super awesome guy.
Yeah, I like Leach.
Yeah.
He kind of got fucked.
He got fucked. But he's in the best mood possible. He's like, yeah.
And it was a catch weight. Hopefully they don't, put him down on the rankings.
Yeah, no, he did awesome, so. All right, so this is Nate Diaz post-fight press conference I just played for you.
Hamzat's fight.
Not mad at his chains.
Tonight? Yeah, I was watching on the warming up.
What did you make of his performance?
Lame, scared, boring, rookie, whack, pussy, lame, dick sucker. all those in it.
Did you watch Hamza?
Of course,
His
he didn't say
response
that.
to Hamza, yeah, he says a dick sucker.
Fight Jake Paul and come back and fight Hamzat.
I know, dude. I know. Oh, this is so jacked up. So I don't know how real this is, but so
Well, it's real because Kavanaugh posted.
yeah, Kavanaugh posted this. Yes.
Yeah, so what we're watching now, if you just listen to it, so Walker, who's coming off a huge win, I mean,
Johnny
make it or
Walker.
break it for him for Johnny Walker versus Cuda Libre. Whoever, I think loser goes home. They're probably gonna cut the loser, Cuda Libre. So all the pressure's on him. He wins the fight, but now I'm guessing because COVID protocols, they don't let you hang out in the locker room anymore. They don't want as many people in there. So you see a lot of guys still wearing masks, which is insane. But so apparently they're like, hey man, you gotta get going.
Even though he already fought, though, like
Yeah, I know. He's like, yeah, I know. It's nuts.
If you have,
So they kicked him out and
he was
on the
walking
street barefoot.
barefoot to the hotel with his gloves still on.
Johnny still has his gloves on. Didn't get a chance to get changed.
They kicked me back to the hotel like, you win the fight, come back, motherfucker. I didn't take my gloves off.
Oh, he's in the.
Like in the front.
Holy
And
shit,
everyone's
that's
like looking at him
embarrassing.
like, yeah. I mean, he must look badass too, though.
Yeah, kind of. It's more embarrassing with the UFC. I don't think Dana or the UFC brass had anything to do with this. It's just people probably taking their job way too serious. Be like, sorry man, you got to get going. But I guarantee if Dana be like, what the fuck you doing? No, he's not leaving. He needs to change.
Yeah.
Does he have to leave? Like, this is so stupid.
When you say that people taking their jobs too serious, I think especially if you're like new to the organization,
Yes.
you probably just
Oh,
freaking out. So you have to do
you're
all that
probably
stuff.
stressed the fuck
Yeah,
out. Like, I don't want Dana to get mad at me. And then you did the opposite. Now he's mad at you. Because now this is bad PR for the
It's so bad, dude. It looks terrible. Okay, this is trippy to me. So Hasbullah, he's like the internet sensation.
Still?
Mini Khabib, yeah, still. So apparently he signed a 5-year contract, according to a reporter. I'm guessing he's a Russian reporter. But he signed a 5-year deal with the UFC, I guess to promote stuff.
Yeah, because it's such a big social
Huge,
media
yeah. So
following.
this is what Dana White said
So I'm
about
gonna
it.
tell you something. So the video that he sent Dana White, I'm coming to Abu Dhabi UFC. So I post that with me on the plane saying, I'm coming. It's the biggest post I've ever posted. White said I have 6.7 million followers on Instagram. 6.4 million people watch that video. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, he's just good for the. Listen, the UFC does a great job staying current and knowing what's trending and who can show influence and post. So they probably paid him bank because if I don't know how many followers he has, but out of the millions that he has, you're probably getting 50 grand a post. So they paid him a significant amount of money to, promote the UFC and the big cards.
He's
stuff
hot
like that.
for some reason. So
Yeah, it's nice. Dana's not shadow banned like me. So what else you got?
all right, let's see. Not that. Here, this is from Bellator. I don't know when this fight was though, but it's just so up kicks. You'll see here.
God, oh my, hey dude, it's quick going in, boy. What the heel say to the face? That guy eating fucking up kick sandwiches. Figure it out, dude.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I only got like 1 or 2.
The guy looks like Houston Alexander if he got a hold of Sammy Sosa's lotion. What else you got?
All right, so this is Raymond Daniels.
Yeah, we're just talking about
Badass.
fight companion. Yeah.
But so he always likes he wants to do flashy stuff because that's his thing, right? So look what he does here. It kind of messes him up. I'll just show you. This is that karate combat.
His pants are sweet.
Yeah.
See what happened?
No.
Watch again.
Did he fuck up his ankle?
Watch his head.
Oh, yeah, he hits his head, gets concussed.
He did win the fight.
His neck's all fucked up.
He won the fight, but he did sort of knock himself out a little bit during that thing. That's why the karate combat says Raymond is a beast, but you don't want to mess with the karate combat pit.
Yeah, those slanted walls.
All right, that's pretty much it. Just the fights.
Yeah, you have a good fight night this weekend. So you have a fight night this weekend with my boy, the Sandman, Corey Sandahagen. And then you have Sung Young Dong which is a very tough fight for Corey. But of course, I'm leaning towards Corey. Aurora's fine. It's the best talent we've had. Listen, he's only lost the upper spare of the bantamweight division, losing to Peter Yan. Then the TJ Dillashaw fight. Chin thinks he actually won that fight. I do think he lost that fight, which pains me to say that, but he did lose that fight with the weird giving up his back all the time. So either way, he's only lost to he's lost to the current champ Aljamain Sterling, which was a rough night for him in the office. Then he wins 2 more: Marlon Moraes, Frankie Edgar, that flying knee, and then TJ Dillashaw. Some people think he won. They lost to Peter Yan. So he's mentally he's as strong as they come, man. So I refuse to pick against him, against Sung Young Dung. Mm-hmm. That being said, not a crazy fan of this matchup if you're a Corey Sandhagen fan, and I ride or die with that guy. So I think he gets it done. Another fun knockout. He's a wild boy. I don't think Sung Young Dung has faced anyone like him. Don't like the matchup, though, that being said. But Corey Sandhagen via TKO, something flashy. That's what I think gets done. But Sung Young Dung is a fucking monster. Mm-hmm. Monster, man. The rest card's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. Andre Feely's on there. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a fight night, Chidi Njoukani.
Yeah.
Monster. The co-main event middleweight's a fun one too, but all the fight, they'll be good. There's no one's going to blow your fucking hair back as far as star power, but that's a great main event. Mm-hmm. And then you also have one flying under the radar, Triple G, Canelo, the trilogy. Both a little older. Canelo, he looked pretty good in his last fight. I'm sorry, Triple G looked pretty good in his last fight. Canelo was just biting off more than he can chew, kept moving up in weight until he met his match, and the guys are just too big for him up there. So I think Canelo gets this done. I think he actually, it's boxing. I'll say decision. Canelo, majority decision, but I think age is going to catch up with Triple G here. I'll take Canelo. And that's Saturday night on DAZN. I can't believe DAZN's still around. And I will be watching all of this from the green room in Ontario, California. I'm in Ontario. Ontario Improv is this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's go Inland Empire. And then after that, September 29th through October 1st is Boston. That's almost sold out. So get your tickets now. Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Laugh Boston. And that's Boston, Massachusetts, if not to be confused with Austin. All right, if you're a fan of the movie Road Trip, if you remember that, Tom Green. Then San Jose, Salt Lake City in October, and then I end October in Calgary, Canada, October 27th. One show only at the Rooftop there. We will add another show once that sells out, and so we're getting close. So I'll announce the next show there in Calgary. But Calgary's October 27th at the Rooftop. But this weekend, Thick Boy Tour coming to you, and we will have in person the Mike Stud Thick Boy collab. It won't be available online for me. If you want it online, I think Mike Stud, but they sold out, so they're going to restock it soon. But if you want it this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Ontario, it will be in person. The Save a Horse, Ride a Thick Boy t-shirts and hats will be available in Ontario, California this Thursday through Saturday. And it will also be available in Boston until we sell out. So get you some. See you guys this weekend in Ontario. Also Tuesday night, 10:30 show, Hollywood Improv, Schaub and Friends. It's going to be some monsters. Come get you some. Tickets at thickboy.com. That's it, man. Let me know what you think about the conspiracy. Again, not the biggest conspiracy guy, but a little fishy for me. All right? Love you guys. Be nice to each other. Stay safe. See you next week. We're out.